Hello, and welcome to Homer for Monday, April 28th, 2025. Thank you so much for being with us today. O se ponto ploisineni de noisina dutein. Tu de ide mendo kermen aptolemos da sumeres. Faz canonam vegesto de on per neile lepto. Kai sakusam videhoi kuneen kefale fineteke. Taureien falon te kaialo fon he te tekaitux. He te kataitux. Kekle tai hruetai de kare thaleroanais de on. Meriones de rusei di dubione de paretrein. Kaiksi fossam fedoi kuneen kefale fineteke. Urinu poie ten polesin dentos animasin. Entitatos tereos sectos de laucaia dontes. Argiodontos uos dames conente caenta. Aucarpista menos messe deni pierlos arere. Ten rapotex leonos amuntros ormenidau. Exceletau tolocos puginon domonanti torresas. Scandeiandora doce cuterio iam vidamanti. Am vidamas demoloi doce xenei oneinai. Autaro merione docen hoi paeri pareinai. De totu du saus pucasen care amphitithesa. Awesome. All right, so saying, the twain clothed them in their dread armor. Titaidius' son Thrasymachus, staunch in fight, Menoptolemos, gave a two-edged sword, for his own was left by his ship, and a shield, and about his head he set a helm of bull's hide without horn and without crest, aphalon tegai allophon, a helm that is called a skull cap, and that guards the heads of lusty youths. Aisdeon, that's lusty, has vigor. And Meriones gave to Odysseus a bow and a quiver and a sword, and about his head he set a helm wrought of hide. With many a tight stretched thong was it made stiff within, while without the white teeth of a boar of gleaming tusks were set thick on this side and that, well and cunningly, and within was fixed a lining of felt. This cap Autolycus on a time stole out of Eleon, when he had broken into the stout-built house of Amontor. Antitoresas broke into the Puginon Domon, stout house. And he gave it to Amphidamas of Cuthim to take to Scandeian here. And Amphidamas gave it to Molus as a guest gift, but he gave it to his own son Meriones to wear. And now being set thereon, it covered the head of Odysseus. Sweet. Okay, so we're at that phase in this book where they talk about putting their clothes on. They are getting ready for the night journey. But there's a few things that are notable about this, just from a contextual circumstance, which is that these are not the plumed helmets that you would regularly see people wear in battle, right? So usually when they go to battle in the Iliad, they wear these plumed helmets, right? Maybe they're scaring people off. But here, right, I guess I don't know, maybe they're going to be doing things that physically don't need a plume, or maybe they don't want to be evident in the night, right? But basically, they are not going to have a plume. They're going to have a skull cap. It's going to be a close-fitting little cap, right? And it's going to have tusks on it, right? So it's like a sort of like stealing in the night cap, I think it's interesting, these are guards. These are captains of the guards, right? So you can tell that now at this point that they've met up with the captains of the guards, which is an awareness from, the bidding of who is the captain of the guard from last book, right? These captains, right, are then giving their, for his own was left by his ship, right? He left his sword back by the ship, right? What is it? Tude min då came up Ptolemostas umeres fascogon amphes, right? So Thrasymedes, right? Because of the fact that, why is this an asterisk right here? Anyway, whatever. So to Tydeus, right? To the son of Tydeus, Thrasymedes, right? Thrasymedes is the, sorry, that makes sense. I was just lost in my head. But anyway, some of them are missing their weapons because they're out guarding, right? Or this, or the other way around. So there's a deficit of weapons necessary for Tydeus, who's going to, Tydeus doesn't have his sword because he left it by his ship, and he's got to go out in the night. So there's this transferring of the weapons because the guards have their weapons because they're outside. We're all outside, right? And the leaders do not. Very cool. And then, I like this, cute story over here about like, what's the story of the cap, right? I guess when you think of a hat, you don't really think of it being entirely too special, right? Maybe we think of dresses as being special. Maybe some women's hats are like really, really special, right? Like, oh, Princess Diana wore that hat, right? But here it's like, he stole it from somebody's house and then he gave it to somebody as a guest friend, and then that person gave it to their son, right? And now Meriones is giving it to Odysseus. This is actually quite like it's a great lineage for a hat, right? It says something about the awareness of small things and also the operative objects for a warrior, which is that, this is not even the daytime war cap. This is the nighttime war cap, and yet it is so important. And it is so nice that it is so well made. I'm sure there's some great studies there, out there about like what exactly is going on with these hats, but you can imagine it kind of, it's just a close fitting, helmet, but, anyway, very interesting stuff. I hope you enjoyed this today, and we will see more getting ready for battle tomorrow. Take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.